Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another review, or let's say comparison, between the Sony Alpha 7 III versus the Sony Alpha 7R4. Why am I gonna do this review, or better say comparison between those two cameras? Maybe you're just standing there and ask yourself, shall I save 2,000 bucks and have a nice full frame camera with 24 megapixels, or do I really need 61 megapixel, maybe with a better autofocus system? And that's what I'm here for. Maybe I forgot something to tell you in this review. Make sure you leave a comment below if you have any kind of certain features that I haven't been aware of. And make sure to have a look in the video description below, since I've uploaded tons of files, RAW and JPEGs, for you to download to check out the performance at home. So enjoy this review now. I will skip the unboxing here. You get a camera, body, a battery, a charger, software and a user manual inside. You probably agree when I say that both bodies feel great and fit in most hands just perfect. I do have to add that the A7R4 body is bigger than its predecessor, so the standard battery grip will not fit anymore. The A7R4 fits just better in my hands due to its bigger grip, but that depends a bit on the size of your hands as well. On top of both cameras is a hot shoe for all different kinds of external microphones and flashes. Then we have the electronic viewfinder with 5.7 million pixels on the A7R4 and 2.4 million pixels using the A7 III. Can you imagine 5.7 million dots? That's a lot, wow! The hot shoe of the A7R4 now supports digital audio data from two new Sony microphones. Unfortunately, I was not able to test them yet. All buttons on the A7R4 have an extra protection against dust and splash and much better grip. At the side you will have a port to attach an external microphone, headphones, USB-C, micro USB, and on the lower side a mount to attach a tripod. The battery is the same with its 2280 mAh, but lasts longer using the A7 III. It has been a big issue, the battery life using Sony cameras until the third generation. It's not surprising that the battery lasts a bit longer using the A7 III due to its bigger file sizes on the A7R4. I did not have any overheating issues since I limited my recording time to approximately 6 minutes in 4K. It's just ridiculous that Canon tries to impress with a Wi-Fi backup instead of a second SD slot, while both Sony bodies have a dual SD slot. Both UHS-II on the A7R4 and a single UHS-II slot on the A7 III. Handling wise, both cameras feel extremely good. They fit just perfect in one's hands, while it depends a bit on the size of your hands. In my point of view, the A7 IV fits slightly better due to its bigger grip. I was lucky when I saw that Sony has changed the menu a while ago. Different colors help to find things easier. One may ask why I compare these two cameras regarding their resolution. Well, for some out there it might be enough to have 24 megapixels, and for some others out there 61 megapixels are just enough to work with. The following pictures were taken with a 24-70mm G Master lens. Look at this. 24 megapixels are enough to zoom in, crop in a little bit, and you would probably think, wow, that's great. But how about a 61 megapixel photo? Well, you can spot every window, every strut, and all the details, which is great for architecture, landscape and fashion photography. If you need to crop into your photos sometimes, go for the resolution monster. But wait, there is more! The feature is not new, but more advanced and only available using the R version called Pixel Shift. The sensor will shift slightly. Make sure to get a stable tripod. You can either take 4 or 16 photos, and using the Sony software you can merge them together to a 240 megapixel image. My computer just got an epileptic shock, but I was impressed about these details, just stunning. We don't need to speak about the dynamic range of Sony. What you can get in post from the photos is stunning. In this case about 50 megapixels per RAW file using the A7 III and about 120 megabytes using the A7R4. Well, anyone out there who works with Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop will be happy about dynamic images. Thanks to all the guys who supported me for the autofocus test at the skate park near the European Central Bank. The autofocus is great using both cameras. It seems to be easy to track moving subjects and faces for both models. In the menu you can choose if you would like to track an animal or a human being. I was really impressed that it has been no problem for the A7R4 to track someone's eyes even while wearing glasses, just because the camera expects the eyes behind it. Tracking the eyes was easy for both cameras, where it seemed to work out better using the A7R4. Via touch you can set the focus using your fingers if you use a Sony lens. It does not really work out using an adapter like Metabones. When it comes to tracking, you can clearly see that the A7R4 was much quicker while the subject was moving. I have not seen it work out that easy before on any other mirrorless camera. It was just hard to retract subjects when it moved out of the camera's view. I was able to take more than 150 photos in JPEG using both cameras, 90 photos in RAW at once using the A7 III and about 70 photos using the A7R4. A fast memory card is mandatory. The one I used is listed in the video description below. You can take up to 10 photos per second in burst mode using both cameras, whereas the buffer of the A7R4 keeps writing the files and you would be able to continue to shoot after 5 seconds again. Since the tracking and buffer was much better using the A7R4, the point goes to the brand new $4,000 camera. A place I can recommend for good food, drinks and chill is called Gerbermühle, which is located at the Main River. At this place we started to test the video mode of both cameras. You can shoot 4K video using both cameras with up to 30 frames per second. Full HD with up to 120 frames per second including audio. If you see only 50 or 100 frames per second, switch the video format from PAL to NTSC. That's great for slow motion scenes out of the camera for events and sports. If you're interested in color grading, shoot in S-Log2 and S-Log3 or use some color presets from the camera. There's no 720p video like seen on our taillight Canon. The sharpness of the videos is great and the tracking was really accurate like seen before. Perfect for any kind of gimbal shots. However, the tracking was slightly better using the A7R4. Here's a comparison between the integrated 5-axis image stabilizers. Okay, I thought 24 megapixels versus 61 megapixels on the same surface would make a lot of difference when it comes to video recording during low light scenes. Well, look at these scenes. How well the A7R4 copes with low light and high ISO values. Here is ISO 12800, here is ISO 25600. And that's ISO 32004K. Well, I don't see a huge difference here. I can recommend having a look at some files by yourself. A link is listed in the video description below. And of course you can shoot interval photos as well, but you do need to merge them in post or let the camera take a time-lapse video for you, and that's how it will look like. We enjoyed a couple more hours at the Main River in Frankfurt to take some more daily photos and videos. As I told you already, the autofocus is great using both cameras and slightly faster using the Sony A7R4. If you just want to take some great photos, the A7 III will fulfill its job. By the way, the price difference is about $2,000. For 2K, you can get a cool G-Master lens. On this day we used the 24-70 and the 70-200 f2.8 lens. The bokeh is just fantastic and the RAW files are amazing to play around with the dynamic range. If you don't have an Adobe account for Lightroom, you can use the software by Sony, which is for free by the way. the colors are neutral and most of the time are seen as in real life, except for the screen of both cameras. In my opinion, the colors tend to look way too warm and the resolution is, let's say, a bit too low. However, once you have the files on your computer, they are just great. Since both cameras are equipped with Wi-Fi, you can control the cameras using an Android or iOS device and transfer files straight onto your mobile phone or tablet. Other manufacturers do have a better and more intuitive app interface. Using the free app, you can control the aperture, shutter speed, ISO and many more parameters. There is also a sync port for external flashes on the A7R4. Transferring files to your computer is easy using the USB-C port with both cameras. None of these two bodies have a GPS module. You must use the GPS of your phone in combination with the Sony app to store these information on the files. At the end, we deal with the low light performance of both cameras. The ISO limit of the A7 III is at 204,800 and 102,400 using the A7R4. Till ISO 12,800, there is not much of a difference between both cameras. At ISO 25,600, you can start to see that the performance is better using 24 instead of 61 megapixels. However, still great results using the A7R4. Make sure to have a look by yourself on a large screen. The download link to all sample images is listed in the video description below. That's it for today. If you want to take great photos and videos using a full frame camera, the A7 III will do a great job for you. In terms of battery life, handling, low light performance and dynamic range, an awesome camera for about 2,000 bucks. With 2K difference to the A7R4, you can get already 1 or 2 cool lenses for your A7 III. If you have slightly bigger hands and you care about an awesome, fast and precise autofocus system, make sure to look at the A7R4. The tracking was especially outstanding, a great camera for landscape, architecture and detail photography, which can also be fashion. With 61 megapixels you can spot every detail. Some other features are pixel shift and 2 UHS-II card slots, which are necessary anyway. Where I can see the need for an improvement is in regard to a display resolution, display colors and for outdoor shooters an inbuilt GPS module. The battery life is outstanding using both cameras and slightly better using the A7 III. Controlling the camera and changing settings is faster using the A7 IV. In daily life you probably won't notice too much of a difference. I can highly recommend getting a native Sony lens for an improved autofocus speed and sharpness. Make sure to leave a comment below if you think that I forgot something. All the best from Frankfurt and make sure to follow me on Instagram.